right, Angela, very nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Great. So you have an amazing resume, really great medical coding billing experience. I understand that you had a personal family issue that you had to care for a loved one.
Yeah.
And so you had to put your notice in from a job you had for about 2 years back in November. But the good news is that your family member is doing much better, and that now has you seeking employment. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's correct.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Tell me what your job was and what you did as a senior coder.
My job was island doctors are strictly paper charts. So my job was to get after the patient was seen by the doctor, we would go through the office notes and any hospital notes that they may have had, and we would find any diagnoses that needed to be addressed. Um, Island Doctors was a risk management adjustment. So we basically dealt with the risk adjustment codes like the chronic conditions. So if the patient was in the hospital for like chronic conditions such as congestive heart failure or cardiomyopathy, those were codes that we had to address. So we would make sure that those codes were lined up for the doctor to address the next time the patient was in. And then we would also get the records ready for the next appointment for that patient so that the doctor would have all the information that they needed so that they wouldn't miss any codes.
Okay. Angela, how do you maintain accuracy when you are doing the coding?
I'm a perfectionist, so I usually have a system. I would go through the actual records, and then before I put it on the card, I would actually go through them again to make sure that I didn't miss any documentation, and then I would put it on the card. So I'm very anal about making sure that I address all of those codes.
Okay. Um, and then I also see you have your certifications. Tell me about that.
I'm a certified professional coder I do have my certificate from AAPC. I've had that for a couple of years, and I am looking to get 2 more certifications. So right now I'm looking at the inpatient coding. So I'm taking the class to do that, and it's an online class. You go at your own pace. So
Okay. Why don't you tell me about an achievement? I mean, goodness, you've got, well, how many years of experience would you say? I'm just calculating them here. You might have it.
with medical billing and coding, I started doing medical billing in 1999.
Wow. Okay.
So I have quite a few years of experience doing that. I started actually coding before I got certified. My doctor provided that because I wanted the certification, so he provided that, financed it so that I can get certified. So I've been doing medical coding for about 7 years.
Okay. And tell me about like an achievement, something that was like a big win that was like, wow, that was a really, really great thing that happened today at work.
Well, when I worked for the doctor's office, Dr. Turner's office, I got an employee achievement from one of our patients for going above and beyond. This patient was having a really hard time getting in to see a thyroid doctor. The patient's throat was closing and she was having a hard time getting a referral.
Wow.
So at that doctor's office, the front desk person was the one in charge of the referrals. She wasn't able to get anywhere. So I took it upon myself to make sure that the patient would get that appointment sooner than possible. So I stayed on the phone with the the insurance company, and we finally did get that patient in emergency appointment, and they were able to take care of her. And she bought me. She came to the office and she had flowers, and so my doctor gave me an accommodation for going above and beyond.
Love that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Um, Tell me about the EMR systems that you've worked with.
I worked in Epic, Athena, Cerner, um, It was MDon then, but I think it's called Change now. I've worked in that system. Um, Perio is a system that I also worked in. I don't, some people use it, but I worked in that one as well.
Okay. Let's see here. And then I love that 98% coding accuracy. Where was that done? Was that at your last position?
Yes, Island Doctors.
Island Doctors. Okay, wonderful. You have the ICD-10, CPT, HCPCS. You also worked with Medicare and Medicaid.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me know if I'm missing anything. So I have that you worked in specialty oncology, radiology,
Yes.
family medicine, physical therapy,
Yes.
SNF, and assisted living.
Yes.
And that was over your span, goodness, 20
Yes.
plus years.
Yes.
Right, wonderful. Wonderful. And you're available to work in office and
Yes.
start immediately?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Angela, I'm going to go ahead and stop this part of the recording, but please don't go anywhere. We've got a few more things to chat about.
Okay.